What up, gamers? Welcome back to Kaboom!
Stand down, soldier.
We're back with yet another exciting video for you. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that subscribe button to ace all your exams with flying colors without cheating, of course.
Oh, sorry.
Do you love our channel? Support us now, get your Kaboom membership. Get cool badges, emoticons, and infinite luck in return.
Let's go, baby! Get out of here, boy!
Cheat codes in games have been around for decades, even before many of us were even born. Today, if we need cheats for any game, all we gotta do is boot up our internet browser, search for it, and boom! But back in the day, cheat codes were hard to find and super confidential, which is what made them super cool in the first place. And that is part of the reason why modern games don't have cheat codes. That and the fact that cheating in online games just suck. So, it's about time I took you on a little walk down the memory lane and talked about top 10 games where everybody was cheating. GTA series. GTA Vice City was the very first PC game that turned me into a gamer. I remember spending most of my early childhood cruising through the streets of Miami, messing around with cops and whatnot. But that's not it. GTA Vice City was also the very first game that introduced me to the world of cheat codes. I bet that's true for many of you as well. Fortunately, this decades-old tradition is still as fresh thanks to Rockstar. Back in the days, it was hard to find cheat codes, and I remember many of my friends asking me to make a list of cheat codes for them. Dang, that felt good. GTA series has now become a symbol of cheat codes. Need a new car in the middle of jungle? No problem. Want to take down police helicopters? Have an RPG missile. Feel like racing through the streets? Spawn the fastest car in the game. Don't like your main character? Heck, change into someone else. GTA has got you covered, man. The Sims. The Sims has become a genre-defining title when it comes to life simulators, and that is for many good reasons.
Baby Ponka.
The community has grown far and wide over the years, with many loyal players spending hours, even days of their life trying to live an honest virtual life, in hopes to afford a small house one day. Well, that's boring. Back in the good old days, all you had to do was slap a few keys on your keyboard, and all of a sudden, you were a billionaire who could buy anything. Literally anything. With the cheat code we had, this whole new approach of endless possibilities in one of the top games on PC of all time. This gave players a lot of freedom to show their creativity in the best possible way. But things got a little out of control when players discovered that they could literally move objects around the game by simply typing in the moveobjects_on command. The results were quite hilarious to say the least. Cheating in Sims just enabled players to experience so much that we just couldn't otherwise. And it wouldn't be a sin to admit that we have all wanted to be filthy rich in our lives at some point, even if it was in a game. NBA Jam. NBA Jam is the longest running game and the most accomplished one when it comes to basketball, and the best part about NBA Jam was surely the cameos.
Amazing!
A long time before games like UFC and WWE 2K, NBA Jam was the real deal because of the weirdest yet fun celebrity cameos that often led to some epic matchups. NBA Jam was one of the games that provided players with all kinds of different cheats to spice up their basketball experience, from flying across the court with one key to making the characters' heads enlarged. Players could do some pretty hilarious stuff in the game. With a whole roster of famous political personalities and celebrities like Obama and Will Smith, what could possibly go wrong?
The bigger the shove, the bigger the love. Kaboom!
Age of Empires. Real-time strategy games take a lot of patience and effort in order to conquer the battle. But only a handful of RTS games have the essence that makes them special. And Age of Empires surely remains to be one of the best games in this genre for a ton of reasons. I remember spending countless hours every day, grinding hard to make some insane battle strategies that would outwit the enemies in the most epic ways possible. But to be honest, RTS games can get super tedious at times, and sometimes you just want to whistle through that. Luckily, there were cheat codes that the players could use to speed up in-game time and try out a bunch of different strategies without waiting. But the one that stood out the most was spawning sports cars in the game that were able to crush down literally anything that stood in their way. Definitely too overpowered to be used realistically, but it was fun seeing those gigantic elephants squished out like pesky little rats. Doom. Doom's God mode shouldn't be a stranger to you, if you're one of those hardcore early 2000s gamers. Doom for its time was a seriously successful and tough game for sure, and the players went crazy after they realized they could be invincible. This code kind of changed the whole scenario for Doom. Doom has a very daunting theme, be it the graphics or the gameplay, but with this invincibility cheat, the game got a whole lot easier, where you could just enjoy the sheer brilliance of this masterpiece without having to complain about its ugly monstrosities that were breathing down your neck all the time.
Magic.
God mode cheats are more popular in RPGs, but this first-person shooter really needed this hack for players to really enjoy all that this game had to offer, till the very end. Saints Row series. Saints Row in its raw form is such a wholesome experience, being solely engineered for immense fun. The game has endless possibilities for all the crazy things one could ever think of. And when mixed with cheat codes, it's an astounding treat for the child inside all of us. Saints Row's mechanics are pretty simple, yet they are fun in every single way. But you can make everything 1,000 times more fun by pulling out that smartphone of yours and typing in a bunch of cheat codes. I always think of Saints Row as a GTA remake made for the sole purpose of having fun. Goldeneye 007. Even James Bond needs a hand at times, and so it happened. Goldeneye 007 was a game with zero haters, and for obvious reasons. And this beloved masterpiece just came up with one of the most fun cheat codes ever. The game had hilarious cheat codes that manipulated the visuals, like characters with enlarged heads and limbs, which made the game a million times more fun and outrageously hilarious. Along with the visual modifications, cheats offered unlimited ammo, different weapons, and an invincibility mode that you could just turn on to enjoy the captivating storyline of the game without getting detected. You're enjoying our content, right? Don't waste any time and hit that subscribe button on the bottom right. Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight was a popular 2D platformer title that drew inspiration from a lot of other popular games. But one thing that made it stand out from the rest was the crazy amount of cheat codes that the game had. No, it wasn't 10 or 20. Shovel Knight legit had over 300 cheat codes that were insanely hilarious. Put in a bunch of random letters on the name screen and suddenly, your player became this gigantic monster with an equally enormous shovel that could take out anything. Want more speed? There's a cheat for that. Want your shovel to be more powerful? You got it. Want your character to fly around? No problem. Shovel Knight had a cheat code for literally anything that your crazy mind could think of. Contra. Contra by far is one of the toughest games I have played in my entire life. Contra series is still as famous as it was for its intense and difficult gameplay that required a lot of skills and time to master. Players back then had lost all the hopes of ever making it to the end of the game, until the infamous Konami code spread like wildfire among the Contra community. Although it didn't make the player invincible like the God mode in Doom, it sure helped the players out with a few extra lives to spare. All of a sudden, players were making some insane breakthroughs in the game, and speedrunners were finally able to witness the end of the game. Street Fighter II Turbo. Going all the way back to the golden days of arcade fighting games, we have Street Fighter II Turbo, one of the best classic arcade fighting titles ever made. This game was filled with sequence of keys using which you could use a ton of combos to defeat the opponent in game. And while these combos were a major part of the gameplay mechanics, there was this secret combination of keys. When got right in the character selection screen, it was rumored to unlock a super mysterious character that otherwise could only be unlocked if the player defeated all the 8 major characters in the game and achieved a high score. Do you remember the name of that character? Drop it down in the comments. Check out this video. It's specially selected for you. You'll like it.